Losing Kaira, a true story.
So, like I said, the very next thing to happen is the doctor. She pulled me aside and we had a talk. We had like what I would call a real talk. So in this real talk, she basically told me exactly what she was gonna do. She was like, your wife, you know, she's fully dilated. We're gonna go in and we're gonna operate on her immediately. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do our best to save her and save the baby. There's no what is it, the NIC unit? She told me there's no NICU neonatal unit at this hospital, but I will be calling the nearest one, and they should be here within 15 to 20 minutes. So what she says is, okay, you know my boyfriend. I'm gonna call him, and he can watch your son. So just go downstairs and just wait for him, and when he comes, then you'll be straight to go back up and be there for your wife.
So that's what you were doing, because it seemed like an eternity
Yeah,
waiting for you.
So
it did.
So I do that. I go downstairs and, you know, I'm worried. My son's worried, but you know, we're downstairs and I'm trying to keep him at peace. So we're back like in the waiting area. I got him playing with the little toys that's there in the waiting area.
He likes the toys.
And then so Aunt Jenny, she comes in and talk to her for a minute. I text all my family and told everybody to pray for us. I spoke with my mama on the phone.
Your brother Omar, who's a pastor.
Yeah, my brother, him and his wife, him and my sister, they both came over too. So, you know, I was just making provision so that all as many of my loved ones could be there as possible. So,
so Aunt Jenny gets there before her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And that's how you were able to come back.
Well, yeah, basically that's what happened. And while I'm still waiting, I get they actually paged me. They paged me and told me to come back.
Because I was asking for you. I mean, it really felt like an eternity. And I just felt, I don't know, I just felt like I was losing her then. It was, because I was in so much pain, and then it was like released. And then during that time, while, you know, you're gone, she sends you downstairs, she's having casual talk. Like, oh, so you guys just had a huge Thanksgiving dinner. Like, you had so many people over. And I'm like, really?
I mean,
lady.
Honestly, if it was back on our block, there would be no problem with it. But
no.
I don't think now that was an appropriate time.
You're talking about risking losing my child.
And you want to talk about small things. So, you know, well, once I get back, I'm in shock with the news that I received. The doctor tells me, oh yeah, well, your wife is half a week before the cutoff point for the neonatal care to come in and see her. So she told me I called them off. Because they won't see her. They won't even see her if they know that she isn't past this cutoff date, which is, and she's 22 and a half weeks, my wife was. And I know we've read stories of babies.
Yeah.
And no, forget read stories. There's members of our family doing perfectly fine who were born 20 weeks, 21 weeks. You know, so I mean,
you never give up on life.
You know,
never, you know, you would want someone to fight for your life.
So she told me that, okay, my main concern is just to take care of your wife. And, you know, everybody knows me for being a very aggressive person. I'm an East Coast New Yorker. You know how we are. If you know how New Yorkers are, you know how we are. We're not afraid to speak our mind. It's like the weirdest feeling came over me, where I was at such peace with the situation, and I wasn't going crazy or anything. I wasn't pressed.
No.
And I'm like, okay, I just want to be there for my wife. So you can continue from there.
Yeah, pretty much when she told you that, she told me the same thing right before you came up. She told me she was calling the NICU unit off. And I'm just like, wait a minute. No, you can't. What? You know, I couldn't fathom I couldn't really process what she was saying. And I'm like, well,
I wish I never would have left.
You know, the ultrasound showed, you know how you have you could be 23 and a half weeks, but then your gestation from the ultrasound shows, oh, your baby's a little ahead of time. Mm-hmm. And the ultrasound showed that. The last ultrasound. And I explained that to her. No.
This
They're not gonna go for it.
This is what I want to know. Okay. What would you guys do in a situation like that if you are the doctor? Mm-hmm. Say you're the doctor and someone who you have a rapport with, someone who you know, mm-hmm. Is going into labor and they're not past the cutoff date, but you know this person. Let's say if it's your family.
Right at the deadline.
Let's say this is your family member.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say this is your family. Are you going to tell your younger sister or younger brother mm-hmm. or best friend, look, man, I want to help you, but
I'm not going to do
I can't make the call and tell them
to come help you and keep
because you aren't past the cutoff date. You know?
It's just surreal. And I don't think that, I feel like it should be the parents' right more so than the doctor's right.
Yeah.
I felt kind of weird because it was like the doctor telling me, no, I'm not going to fight for your child. And I have the right to say so.
And you're not even in a position to do nothing.
When, you know, you're paying for everything anyway. How is it not your right to say, yes, fight, do everything you can to save my child?
When this is your money.
Right.
And your body and your child.
Right. I don't know how then it's the doctor say so to say, nah, we're not going to do anything to save it. You know, just prepare for the burial. You know, you'll get some information on burial and cremation services. But I'm sorry, we can't do anything to save your child. That's what we were told.
Yeah.
As crushing as it sounds, we were saying we were at peace, and that is the honest to God truth, because anyone that knows us knows that we are fighters and we push the envelope. When the door is shut, we check to see if it's open. Mm-hmm. We don't accept no for an answer.
That's right.
So to be at peace, I knew it was God, because God will give you a peace that surpasses understanding. Mm-hmm. It's not about understanding. At that point, it wasn't about understanding. Mm-hmm. It was about accepting it, acknowledging it, and being okay with it. And we know the will of God prevails. So we accepted it, and we accepted it gracefully. And we went on with the delivery when you got back. We waited to actually deliver her mm-hmm. for me to push her out until you got back.
And I witnessed the whole thing. And I mean, normally I tape every second of the day. I always have a camera with me. So I had the camera with me then. Mm-hmm. But during that process of her delivering the baby, I had the camera down, and I'm looking at the baby and I'm worried about my wife.
Right.
So when the baby comes out, when Kaira comes out, I see her take 3 breaths, and I'm like, wait a minute, this baby is alive.
And when they call NICU, they have a respiratory therapist with them that helps the baby to continue to breathe. So had there been a NICU unit, that would have been taken care of. Mm-hmm. But no one was there to help our baby live. So it was just a surreal moment for us. You know, I was just watching his face because I couldn't see anything. Mm-hmm. But just watching their faces, and you know, the doctor telling me, oh, well, be prepared. Your baby might come out look like an alien. You know, it's a little early. And I'm just
she came out looking beautiful.
How dare you? My baby was perfectly normal. She beautiful from head to toe.
Every time I
head
see my
full
wife,
of hair.
I remember
nails,
every
fingers.
time I see my wife go to bed, especially with this hairstyle, I see my daughter. I see Kaira.
Beautiful little girl.
I see
cute
Kaira.
shoulders, cute legs. I mean, just fully developed. Beautiful girl. And it was just a surreal moment. So that's really the whole story of what happened. Our next door neighbor actually delivered our child, and that's all the details.
Yeah, man.
For that day.
And this is something that you have to deal with and face on a daily basis. You see this person, and
it goes on. It doesn't end at just
most people.
You know.
Most people might have an scapegoat or something to make
Right.
them forget about a situation.
But we're constantly reminded of the situation
every
because
day.
we're not saying our neighbor, our next door neighbor, next door neighbor was the OBGYN, and we see her every day.
And
So-
you know, we actually were able to get closure with her and have a face-to-face discussion
about it
since this has happened,
and express our feelings.
And I let her know that you know,
We were disappointed with her call. We didn't agree with it at all.
not only were we disappointed with her call, but that we are faith-based.
Next on Losing Kaira.
Christmas, my sister made us a beautiful portrait and captured some of the moments of that day that we cremated her. My father's holding her. You see her little hand holding my hand, and then that's my husband kissing her, and of course our son Jake. On the day of Kaira's cremation, we get a supernatural blessing.
Yeah.
We come back home, you know, that was just, we had to watch our daughter go through the fire, the furnace, and, you know, get her ashes. And it was hard letting her go, I won't lie. But we get back home to a supernatural blessing. About a year ago, before her cremation, I had lost.
Losing Kaira, a true story.